Hey guys, with the final shape coming out next week, I realize there's going to be a ton of new players and returning players. Today I'm going to be going over the best controller settings in Destiny 2 for the final shape, including sensitivity, deadzone, button layout, etc. Now before we get started, I feel like there are two things that I need to get out of the way. There are no best controller settings. Rather, there are only the best settings for you individually. So in this video, I'm going to go over every setting and what works best for you in your scenario or playstyle. Second, what gives me the right to speak? I've been playing Destiny since release over 10 years ago, and I've been playing controller throughout that entire time. I've experimented with almost every sensitivity, and I'm here to help you guys find what works well for you. Deadzone. Deadzone is a setting that not many people are aware of since you could only just adjust it recently. Destiny starts you off with a very high deadzone, and all this means is that your stick requires a lot of movement for the game to register its input. A high deadzone can make it very difficult to aim precisely, and it results in a lot of people's aim looking a lot like this. I personally play on 0.08, which allows me to still be precise, but it makes sure my stick isn't too sensitive. A common way to determine what deadzone works for you is to lower it by 0.01 until you get stick drift. Once you get stick drift, set your deadzone 0.01 above that. Sensitivity. Sensitivity is debatably the most important setting for controller users, and it depends entirely on your playstyle and how you enjoy playing the game. I personally play on 16 sensitivity, since I prioritize movement and it still allows me to be accurate. However, if you're a more reserved player, a lower sensitivity might be better. A super important part of sensitivity is crosshair placement. The lower your sensitivity, the less time you have to make up for bad crosshair placement, like this. You can see on the higher sensitivity, I can make up for sliding looking at the floor or running around looking at the floor. On a lower sensitivity, you need to have good centering and good crosshair placement, because like you can see here, you're not as quick to snap onto targets. Personally, on my sensitivity, I can snap quickly to targets, but this isn't ideal for everybody. I recommend playing around in the crucible and being conscious about how you play. Are you more aggressive making slide plays, or are you more reserved holding lanes and angles? Your sensitivity should be dependent on what you need to enjoy the game and be the best player you can be. Play around with it and don't try to be someone you're not. There are top players that use every sensitivity. You need to find what works for you. ADS modifier. Your ADS sensitivity modifier is essentially a multiplier on your sensitivity when you're aiming. I played 8 sensitivity for years, so I use a 0.5x multiplier on 16 sensitivity, so my aim muscle memory has always been the same. An ADS multiplier can take your sensitivity from looking like this to this. I personally only think you should change your ADS multiplier if your sensitivity is above 7, since every sensitivity below that is particularly manageable and doesn't need to be much slower. This can take some getting used to, but it's what allows a player like me on 16 sensitivity to be so accurate. Button layout. Your button layout can be chalked up to personal preference, like everything else. However, I think there are some things that every player should know on controller. Single press is always better than double press. When you start Destiny, your class ability is activated by double pressing your crouch button. However, this is definitely not optimal. Me personally, I use the right stick to crouch and slide, allowing me to not have to take my thumb off the right stick. Upon changing that setting, I was able to change my class ability to single press B, or circle. This will make your game quicker, and it's an overall improvement on how effective you can be. Sprint turn scale. This is a setting that people have disputed for forever, however I definitely have a strong opinion on it. I play on the max setting, 0.8, however all the setting means is how fast you turn when sprinting. In my personal opinion, this should be maxed out at 0.08, so you can turn corners and side slide as quick as possible. Remember, settings are always personal preference, and all I'm doing here is trying to help you understand how to pick the best settings for you individually. Thank you guys for watching, and If you enjoyed, make sure to like and subscribe.